So why don't we start just with you telling us who you are?
My name is Monique Morrison, and I'm a new real estate agent with Redline.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Calgary. We moved here when I was really young and basically spent my entire childhood in the city of Calgary. Did live in Chicago for a while, as well as back in Ontario, which is where I was born, and then landed here, I guess, permanently when I finished college.
Anything that stands out from years watching this thing grow?
I'm a bit of a foodie, so what has been exceptional in this city growing is all the new culinary options. Downtown is just, anywhere you go, there's something, which I love. And the arts and culture, that's what a 1.2 million or however many of us there is, creates a nice vibe in this city. So that's what I've loved about the change.
Cool, so
Yeah.
you've seen it from grassroots. That's really neat. I've seen it too, and I've been here only 15 years.
Right.
Yeah. So how long have you been in this business?
It's been 4.5 years.
Already?
No, already, I can't believe it.
And does it feel longer, or does it feel like it's just flown by?
Oh, it's flown by. I started kind of at what was considered a peak market, 2014, and definitely hit the ground running and loved that year. I was like, why doesn't anybody do this? And then kind of went into a bit of a slower time, but honestly, coming out now, it's just been a blink of an eye. I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, it kind of tests you a little bit when you had to go through a little bit of the ups and downs.
Yeah, there's been some interesting learnings the last 2 years. I've enjoyed the intricacies of the negotiation, but as well as keeping a deal or a transaction together for both clients, because there's been some challenges.
For sure, and it's a little different when you're riding up the market, and it's down when you're going down, and now we're trying to stabilize it.
Right.
So yeah, we learn, but again, the challenges are different, the questions are different, the objections are different.
Exactly, and I don't think it's going to change, even if it stabilizes or if I've been in the business 25 years. I think every transaction and every home purchase or sale is always going to be different, so it's consistently learning, which is invigorating. I like it.
So what did you do before you got into the world of real estate?
It's a mouthful, but I did international sales and marketing. I worked for the tourism bureaus, so Travel Alberta, Tourism Calgary, as well as the Calgary Stampede, promoting our city and our province internationally. So yeah, I got to travel a lot and tell people about how wicked our city is.
Yeah, so that makes perfect sense to be an advocate now in the real estate world.
I know, the transition was actually really quite easy.
Yeah, well, that was one of my questions. What was from your old workplace, and what's been something that you've been able to pull into your new role as a realtor? Not new, but you've been doing this half a decade.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I find very similar to what I did in tourism is you were building someone's bucket list vacation, their dream vacation. So you really had to listen and learn and read between the lines about what people were actually looking for. Were they coming to see the Rockies? Were they coming to see the Calgary Stampede? Like, where did that kind of fit? And this is similar. You get to know someone and you listen to what they're saying, but you also read between the lines so you can find them their dream home. And so that kind of relationship building and understanding the client is probably the biggest asset I acquired from tourism.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Like, the synergies would be beautiful.
Yeah.
And probably ever changing too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and especially when I like to throw in when I'm looking at houses, wild cards. But you've listened and you kind of tease them with this other property that's like, this checks your boxes, what do you think? And sometimes they're like, this is it. And that's kind of what I love, the surprise of it all.
For sure, actually, I'm very similar to that.
Yeah.
I like to be the guy at the end of the day to find that home, to be the one to say, I brought that one. It wasn't one they just found online.
Yes.
Yeah, they may think they know what they're looking for, but you've been able to be the kind of curator of their experience.
Yeah, listen to them and watch their body language as they enter a home, and you start to know what really checks their boxes and what they're really looking for. But yeah, when you can be like, this is the one, before they even know it, love that feeling.
Or you can go in before, right?
Yeah.
You watch, right, if we were on camera.
Yeah, we'd know right away.
So what would be one of the favorite things that favorite things about selling real estate and being in this business?
Favorite things. As like all real estate agents, I love closing days. I love showing up and giving keys to clients and being like, it's finally yours. There's always that excitement and that energy that I definitely love from the lead up to it, I call Matrix, my black hole. I love to look at houses. So when I have a buyer that's looking, I can spend hours just falling down the hole of Matrix and looking at houses and being like, what about this one? Do you like this one? How about this one? That's probably my favorite part of it.
We share, I always say that Calgarians for sure, but I think Canadians or anybody has the draw to home ownership. We're addicted to real estate and MLS and things. So it's nice to hear that you share that same addiction with your clients.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I like it. I like so that when my client sends me one, I'm like, oh, I've already seen that one.
I'm on my way there now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Checking it out for you.
Nice. Well, in the real estate business, have you developed any kind of sort of a niche or kind of a specialty that you really like to go after when you have a chance? Obviously, it's hard to build an entire business around a niche, but is there something that you kind of gravitate towards?
I bought my first home when I was quite young. I was 20 when I bought my first property, and I've always lived in condos. I took the certified condo specialist course through CREB, and I do like to look at condos. And so I would say, that inner city condo market would be my niche if I was to say.
So you learned it early. It's a different skill set. A lot of people don't realize it's quite a different set of things that you need to understand and
very much
and navigate your client through.
Yeah, because you're not just buying the property, you're also technically buying a part of the condo corporation, so you need to check its health and stability as well as the property itself. So I think it needs a specialist, and I like to think I fit that niche.
Yeah, there you go. A lot of people run from the condo world because they think it's a little too much work.
Right. Or it's too much unknown, but there's ways to mitigate around that process and find the right condo.
Gotcha. And you mentioned inner city. Mm-hmm. Maybe talk about that. Why inner city?
I'm an Inglewoodian. I've lived downtown for the last 10 years. The food culture again appeals to me. So I live downtown. I breathe downtown, and I like that kind of thing. I'm always attracted to the new builds that are going up and want to always creep on the show homes and everything. And so that's what I do in my spare time.
I find too with the inner city stuff, it kind of pulls you in. It probably says that you've got a kind of a vested interest in kind of the future of Calgary.
Yeah, and I believe in urban density and people commuting downtown and not having too long to get home and spend the time with their loved ones. Like there's appeal in that.
And the lifestyle.
The lifestyle, yeah. Downtown life.
Very good.
It's very shiny.
It is. So I've got one question here around some things that the consumer should know about the world of real estate that they might not be totally aware of right now.
I think my number one tip for consumers with regards to the real estate world that they might not know is that they should always call their realtor before they walk into any show suite for a new build. And the reason for that is we can still help you. We can still negotiate. We can work through the bumps that might come with building anything new. And, just have us there for the first day. I have negotiated money off. I've gotten free upgrades or, the granite that they want in the bathroom that's not standard. That's the stuff that we can ask. And it removes you from that awkward conversation of asking for it. That's what we're there for. So I think call your realtor. And we love to look at houses. We'll go in the show suite with you.
Those are the pretty ones.
Yeah, exactly. They look great.
One thing too, I think, is if you've gone to the builder first, without your realtor, they keep us apart.
Yeah, you can't come in after the fact and be like, I'm now representing this client. The minute you step through that door, without us, we can't come in and help anymore. So, call, and like I said, we love to look at houses. We'll come see it with you.
That's right.
Regardless of, we could spend a whole day just looking at show homes if that's what you're interested in, but definitely suggest you call your realtor. The sales agent works for the builder. We're gonna work for you.
I got one more question for you.
Okay.
What is one thing that most people don't know about you? Or two.
I was gonna say, aside from the fact that I beat you on the golf course.
Aside from that,
things people don't know about me. Well, the golf thing is probably the biggest thing. I did go to school on a golf scholarship, so I've played a lot of golf and still do. Other personally, I'm a scuba diver. I speak a little bit of French. I don't know. That's me, I guess.
So working with you, you might end up on the golf course. And would you lay up a little bit for your clients?
No.
Too competitive.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say, I like to win. I'm still a real estate agent. I still like to win.
There you go. I think that's what your clients would want to hear too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in this to win this.
I'm in this to win this, for me, for you, for everybody. So yeah.
Very good. Do you want to answer the crazy story one? Do you have one that you can hammer at, or
crazy
something,
story
or maybe something
one
you've seen along the way? That might be one.
I think, yeah, the craziest story, and it's funny because it did happen to my sister. I was doing my first acreage deal. Thankfully, your sister has faith in you, because those are also very different, kind of like condos. And we were dealing with the septic system, and it was old, and we were having it checked out. And the guy that was coming to check the septic system drove over the corner of it, and the entire thing collapsed about halfway through our deal. And so we had to renegotiate a new septic system. So for my first acreage deal, learned a lot about septic.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, not something you expect, that the repair guy drive over the corner of it. Yeah.
Yeet.
Yeah, not fun. But aside from that, I mean, I've been lucky, and my clients are amazing, that I haven't had any cray-cray.
Yeah.
Yet. Maybe I still will.
There's always time.
There's always time. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to spin us a different direction.
Okay.
So you also go by kind of another name and a handle. Would you
do.
want to elaborate on that for us?
Sure, I would. I go by Calgary's Red Shoe Realtor, and I a little bit fell into that a couple of years ago. I don't have a great story behind it. I am a self-professed millennial hipster. I even have the cruiser bike to prove it. And I always wear my Chucks. And I was at a real estate training seminar, I think the buyer's representation course. And I went in the morning in my Chucks, and because apparently I was too lazy to get all dressed up. And I was the only one there in them. And I thought, I could do this. Plus, I mean, you've never had to do it, but have you ever tried to show houses in stilettos in the middle of winter or an acreage? Not fun.
No, I can imagine.
Yeah, so this way I don't have to.
Beautiful.
But yeah, a little bit of a nod to my past in tourism with the red, but just kind of me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, again, it's caught on, and people are noticing it.
Yeah.
I know other agents, other brokers are like, oh, she's joining, right? They already know you, which is, again, that speaks to your ability to market.
Yeah.
And maybe speak to a little bit of that. So again, I think we met on social media.
We
I'm
did.
assuming. So
I'm assuming.
Yeah. So that started it, and again, I'm sure that's led into conversations with potential clients, and maybe elaborate a little bit on kind of how you play in that space.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of social media being a platform where you can be authentically yourself and kind of attract your own tribe. And that's what I really like about it. I mean, predominantly my clients are just like me. So you kind of talk their language and live their life as well. And that's kind of how I use my social media platform. But it is starting to catch on. I had a client call me, and she was like, so you sold somebody like 26 removed house, but I remember them saying red shoes, so I just Googled you, and there you were. And I was like, perfect. And then even my fitness trainer, I was like, yeah, so I wear my Chucks all the time, my back's kind of flat. He was like, I know who you are. I was like, oh, this can't go well. He's like, no, you're the Red Shoe Realtor. And I was like, yes. So it is starting to catch on, but it catches on with your tribe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's we are in a business that we're trying to stand out.
Yeah.
We're trying to provide value, obviously, but we need to be differentiated. We need to differentiate ourselves amongst the clutter.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot in our industry, and we're all trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'm still
kudos.
Monique. I just what you see is what you get, and you get the Chucks.
Yes, I have a pair.
You do.
Well, that's a wrap for today, and I am so excited, along with actually the entire brokerage, to have you on board. We can't wait to see what you're going to do into the future and see where we can take your career. So again, we really appreciate you joining us, because you've got other options. And let's do this.
Perfect. I'm very excited. Thank you. Hugging again? No.
Do
I
it.
say go
Okay.
for the hug.
Okay. We need a cookie, right?
I know, I hear you just come for the cookies.
Yes. That's why I come 3-4 times a week. So I have to work out.
So, yeah, so you go to the gym so you can come here.
That's
Gotcha.
Scholarship? What
Yeah.
the heck? Oh,
I know.
You failed to mention that
I
during the
did.
shoot, Monique.
Yeah, totally. I'll leave that part out.
Nice.
When Darren Gallo and I went out for the first time,
Yeah.
I had my best round in my life. So he held me to that standard. But
Oh.
now he knows the truth. Right? So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I played pretty well that day.
And Monique said she played for her first year of brokerage fees?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Thanks for that.
I said to him, he's like, did you put money on it? I'm like, yeah, first year's brokerage fees.
That was 2017. You're just slow. But
Slow in the uptake.
yeah.